So, first of all, I want to start off by saying, Barakathon, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of the great millstone who rule well. And shout out to hopefully let's start out with the 144,000 Shalom. Right, so want to get the lesson done in today. Once again, we're reading the book of Lamentations. And I'll be trying to read it, as I'm going to work, and get the chapter in, before I go to work, things of that nature. And for the past 2 days, really yesterday after I read Lamentation 1, the Spirit came upon me to do a lesson of a precept that I read. But as I was reading today, the Spirit came upon me to do a lesson, upon do a lesson based off of a precept I read today as well, right? And I think I put the notes. It's I think I put the title of my notes here: "The Glory in Front of Us." Right? That's the title of the lesson. And I'm gonna read verse 13, right? And I'm gonna read it in KJV. Then I'm gonna go to the NLT. Then Lord willing, we'll see what the Spirit lead us, right? But this is Lamentations 2, verse 13. Right, and it reads, it says, What things shall I take to witness for thee? What things shall I liken to thee, O daughter of Jerusalem? What shall I equal to thee, that I may comfort thee, O virgin daughter of Zion? Right, it's another word for Israel, another word for Jerusalem. Right, he says, For thy breach, right, is great like the sea, who can heal thee? Right, and as I read this earlier, then it hit me in the spirit, dang, because you see a lot of people, trying to find rest, right? Micah 2:10, right? Depart from this natural rest. The people looking for a rest. That's why that's why they fall for all these things of this world. They're looking for their healing, right? But when you understand it, right? When you understand it, you understand that us being took from our homeland, thrown into captivity upon our enemies, upon these strangers in this strange land, once how the Spirit hit me in the aspect of the glory that's in front of us, right? And the things we go through today ain't compared to nothing that we gonna get back to. Cause you gotta think, in our land we was kings and we had it all. We had what we needed. We had everything we needed, literally everything, right? And it's gonna be just like that, even just like that when we get back to the kingdom, even more. But the people so caught up in the things that surround us today, they don't even get to see the glory that's in front of us, man. Right? So I'm gonna read this in the Lamentations 2, right, verse 13 in NLT, right? And it says, What can I say about you? Who has ever seen such sorrow? Because you gotta think, us being took out our home, that was bad. That means of us being killed, means of us being thrown in slavery, means of us scattering all over, right, falling out the ways of the heathen, doing all these things, going contrary to the word of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? It says, O daughter of Jerusalem. To what can I compare to your anguish? What can you compare from that our homeland being taken from us? You see how Esau them living. You see how the things that they got going on right now, right? You see the how they living deliciously, how they living lavish right now, right? So what can you compare to what can I compare to your anguish? Right? What can compare to us being taken out of our homeland, being thrown into slavery, having to suffer and go through these things? Right? It says, O virgin daughter of Zion, how can I comfort you? For your wound is deep as the sea. Who can heal you? And we got the wounds, right? Lazarus to the rich man, we got the wounds, right? We under the curses. Right? We under the curses today. And that's how the Spirit hit me when I figured how I'm going to go by his lesson. We under the curses today, man. We not set for down here to have no good life. Right? People so caught up in the things around us, caught up in I'm going to bring it out just because I quoted it. People so caught up in the things around us, caught up in the way, caught up in the lifestyle of this world that they don't even see the glory that's in front of us, man. Us being put back into our homeland, just like I was reading what the other apostle Gabar lesson yesterday, all the nations gonna cling to the way we live. All the nations gonna have to do the things that we do. Follow the laws, commandments that Yahweh Shem Shai gave us. Right? Right now you under Esau law, under Esau ways, you under Esau influence, right? To get the rich, get the money, get the power through the money, things of that nature. That's your influence. That's the influence that's going out to the world today, right? But the ones who notice they understand that, hey, we don't need none of that. We scribing, we pushing, right? Matter of fact, if I bring that out, Matthew 6 and 33 real fast, right? It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. Because the Most High can provide the things that we need down here, man. Yahweh Shem can provide everything we need down here. But we got to be seeking the kingdom first, because ain't nothing compared to the glories in front of us, man. But if people so caught up in the things on the left and the right that they don't see this narrow passage, the focus, right? Because you got to think that in the kingdom, we're going to have it all, man. Spiritual powers, everything. Everything you can think, we're going to have it in the kingdom, man. Lord willing, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Right? He gonna give it to us. We're going to have it all. But if people so caught up in the things around us and they don't understand that down here, we're meant to suffer, man. And that's another point that it hit me in the spirit when I read that. We're meant to suffer, man. And you will see that because it says, what can I compare to you? Because ain't nothing you compare down here to what we done went through already. Right? The things we facing now, we meant for this suffering. Right? We supposed to suffer. We supposed to go through these things. It says, who can hear you? The Most High said in Deuteronomy 28:68, when it says back in the slavery, no man shall buy you for bondman, bondwoman, meaning what? No man shall save you. Only him. Only through how we gonna be saved? No man coming through the Father through the Son. So that means that if you ain't got the spirit that comfort upon you, allow you to understand his knowledge and allow you to focus on that narrow passage to attain the righteousness of Yahweh Yahushua, then hey, you know. But the ones who got it, you understand that hey, ain't nothing we go through down here is nothing we go through down here is compared to what's in front of us. So we endure the suffering, we endure the hardship, right? A precept that came to mind, right? And I wanted to read. I'm gonna read it in bear with me, right? Psalm 73. I'm gonna start at verse 3. I wanted to read this in the NLT because I read it. I brought down a lesson before. I won't say how long ago, but you know, Lord willing, all scriptures is doctrine, inspiration. You know, Lord, 2 Timothy 3:16. You know, roughly paraphrasing, right? So, Psalm 73 verse 3. He says, "For I envied the proud when I saw them prosper despite their wickedness." So the people see Esau, people see Esau and how they living, and they automatically, you know, feel like that's how they want to live. They automatically feel like they get that mindset thinking that's how they want to be, right? Slacky, bear with me. That's how they want to be, right? And it says, they seem to live such painless lives. Their bodies are so healthy and strong. Because why? Right? First of all, they face suffering that we face, right? And they're not under the curses, man. Right? He said they don't have troubles like other people. They're not plagued with problems like everyone else. What are those problems? The curses that's put upon us, man. The curses that's put upon us. The things that surround the things that we see, right? Things that we're going through, this hardship, this poverty, this slavery, right? All these things that the Most High told us that we're going to face. Look at all the rich people that you see now. That's Rich Jake. They go through it, man. They go through it, man. Right? They go through it heavy. You don't see Jake. You see Jake get locked up. You see Jake fighting for their lives in the courtroom. All these things of nature. Why? Because they control all these things are controlled by Esau Edom, man. Because he run these things, right? And if you thinking that you're gonna live a glorious life down here without no hardship, you foolish, right? Don't get me wrong. It's some, but you gotta understand. In the day, we under those curses, man. We under those curses. See, Esau not under curse, so you think that that's the lifestyle we supposed to live. That's the lifestyle we supposed to get, right? That same lifestyle you chasing, that's what we used to be. That's why it says, right, limitation. What can you compare? Because you thinking that this lifestyle is something. You thinking this lifestyle is something, but ain't nothing can compare to what we used to be, and what we gonna get back to. It's gonna be even better, man. Right? Because this time we not coming out of rulership. This time ain't nothing taking us out of, ain't nothing knocking us out. Ain't no nation coming up against us. Right? Most High said he gonna set up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed. Rather paraphrase Daniel 2:44. It shall never be destroyed, man. Right? This kingdom gonna be set up. Right? Once again, like I was saying, you know, the people so confused that they looking for a rest, man. They're looking for a rest, right? Micah 2:10, right? I'm reading in this. It says, "Arise and depart." Well, this is not your rest. So this is not your rest, man. It's not your rest. And the people looking for a rest here. That's why they fall into the ways of Christianity. They fall into the ways of anything. They fall into the ways of, oh, I gotta get money, I gotta do this and that, right? Because they're looking for a rest. They're looking for a way to be comfortable, right? But you gotta understand, we're not meant to be comfortable down here. We're not meant to have it good down here. right? Because you're gonna think about it, man. When we get back into our kingdom, when we get back into our rulership and our state, all this shit right here gonna be, this right here is a small fry to us, man. We the big fry. When we get back into it, when we get back to our homeland, our righteous state, all this shit, you gonna see none of this shit mean nothing. But right now, all this shit seem convenient, and this shit seem boastful and prideful in front of your face right now. That's why you gotta let go of the pride. That's why the Most High said, depart from the world, man. That's why the elect are not in the world. Because anything in this world is pertaining to the ways of Esau, Edom. That's the influence in this world right now. The money, the big houses, the cars, the females, the power. All that's what they want, man. That's what they influence out into the world. And if you caught up in that way, if you push it anywhere in that aspect, you were being caught up in that world. That's why he said it's easier for let me go to it, right? Shall no rich man enter into the kingdom, right? Bear with me. That's why I know rich man will enter into the kingdom, man. Because that money makes you foolish, man. Right? That money makes you foolish. That money turns their mind, their money turns their heart away. A gift to squirt the heart. 1 Timothy chapter 6, right? The rich it pulls them away, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read that real fast before I go to that. 1 Timothy 6. Right? It says 1 Timothy 6:9, but the rich, they will fall into temptation and the snare. They're gonna fall into the ways of these things, these big parties, these sinful ass parties. You see what Diddy got going on. Right? Who you think that party full of? Rich people, man. Just being real. That party full of rich people. You get the money, you get the thing, that nation. Now you up there with Satan hierarchy, man. You up there with all these people, them snares, them traps to keep you down, to keep you caught up in the ways of this world. That's why you don't need that's why you don't need to fornicate with nothing in this world. We in this marriage, we have about Yahweh Shai, so we need to stay focused on the narrow passage, man. Right? It says, but they will be rich. But they that be rich, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition, because it's going to destroy you. Micah 2:10, depart from this, not your rest, man. It leads you to a sore destruction, man. Roughly paraphrasing. Right? You're going to lead you to a sore destruction. You're going to be destroyed. Right? Trying to fornicate and fun with the ways of this world right now. Right? Well, I'm not understanding that, hey, all this shit, we're going to have 2 times more and way better. It's going to be a kingdom of righteousness, man. All this wickedness, all this evilness going on there, ain't going to be none of that in the kingdom, man. Right? Matthew 19, I want to say that was, right? Matthew 19:23, right? It says, then Yahweh shall say unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter to the kingdom of the heaven. Because you see, man, these rich people be wicked. They be going off, right? But you got to understand, we supposed to suffer. We supposed to go through hardship. We supposed to face. Temptation is a part of the truth. And this is a precept. When I was meditating in a lesson earlier, and I want to read the precept that Elder Pastor Gabar brought in the lesson yesterday, and it hit me, man. Right? 2 Timothy 3, and I'm reading verse 15. Right? It says, "And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation." Right? The long suffering, we supposed to go through suffering, we supposed to go through persecution, we supposed to go through that, man. Because can't nothing compare to us losing our homeland, being thrown into slavery. Right? But you got to understand, we was thrown over here for what? Right? We was thrown over here for what? For correction. Right? But chastity, we thrown into slavery, that was ultimately mercy, man. Because the Most High was down there done with us. Right? But that remnant that's gonna return, that's that mercy for us to turn back, to see the bullshit we was doing, to turn from it. And now the kingdom will be brought back into us. Now we will know righteous. Now we will know the righteous things. We will know the right thing to do. We ain't gonna go off. We ain't gonna be caught up in the ways of it because we know it now. Right? Back then we were caught up we were Gentiles, we lost, we was in darkness, but now we're in the light. Now we can see the dark. Now we stand focused on the light. We can see the dark path. We can see the wickedness. We can see the things that we don't supposed to do. We can see the things that took us away from the Yahweh Shai. Now we focus on that narrow passage. Right? It says, and account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, hath written unto you. Right? Suffering is a part of this truth, man. Suffering is a part of this truth. Right? And understanding that, going back to Lamentations, right? I'm gonna read it again in the NLT. Going back to Lamentations 2, and 13, and it reads and it says, right? What can I say about you? Who have ever seen such sorrow, O daughter of Jerusalem? To what can I compare your anguish, O virgin daughter of Zion? How can I comfort you? For your wound is as deep as the sea. Who can heal you? What can heal us, man? This knowledge of Scripture is understanding, right? Things that were written for a time to give us comfort. Psalm 23, as I walk through the valley, that I shall fear no evil. Your rod, your staff comfort me. The rod and staff is what? This knowledge to understand these scriptures, for us to understand that, oh, we did go off, right? Because another point, Dawadi, because this just came back to me. Another point that came to me as I was meditating this lesson earlier, I was at work, right? The people don't know where we came from, man. They don't know who we are. Right? The people don't even understand who they are, man. People so caught up in the ways of this world, they don't even understand it. Yo, we got our own homeland. We got our own way. We got our own way we're supposed to live. We got our own riches. We have all that. We had that. But it's been stripped from us because of the way we live it now. We so caught up in the ways of the heathen, so caught up in the ways so caught up in the ways of these other nations, right? So you see, now they look at us as black people who were born at the bottom. They look at us as black people who born at the bottom, like, oh, you black, boy, I know you come from that. I know you come from the struggle. I know you come from that. Yeah, we do, but that's not us for real. That's the way that Esau put us when we scattered out to those corners, those ghettos. Well, they put us at the poverty, the hood. They don't fix them up. The school, the education they put us in, all that, right? Ecclesiastes 10:6. It says, folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. The rich sit in a low place, man. Who's the rich? That's the Israelites, beginning with the elect. You know, the elect beginning with the Yahushua, the King David, then the elect man, the sincere man in his truth, man. The rich sit in low places, man. Folly is set at great dignity, and rich, we in low places, right? Because why? We was took from our homeland and brought over here to this wicked place. But therefore what? When time comes, we're going to be put back into our homeland. Once again, that's why the glory that's in front of us is everything we face down here ain't compared to the glories in front of us when we get back into our homeland. Right? When you go to Lamentations 1, right? Matter of fact, I'm reading NLT so you can see it, right? What it says, right? First, watch what it says about Jerusalem, man. Our homeland, our place, right? Jerusalem, once so full of people, is now deserted. She was once great among the nations, now sits alone like a widow. Once the queen of all the earth, she is now a slave, man. Come on, man. We had it all, right? But the Romans came in, you know, and spoiled us, took our gold, took our things, made us low, threw us into slavery, right? Ultimately knowing that was the punishment for Yahushua, right? But you got to understand that's the point of it all. Prophecy being fulfilled. To see who's going to stay focused, to see who's going to stay focused on that narrow passage, to see who's going to overcome the wicked ways, and the people going to stay in those ways, right? Or people going to take heed to Yahushua mercy and turn from the wicked ways, depart, come out of the ways of Babylon, right? Because they look at these ways. And Esau, it's a trap, man. Because Esau used it against you. That's why they give you all these lessons. That's what. Come on. Right? 1 Timothy 6:9, as we read. That's why they give you all these snares and these traps and these temptations for you to get rich. Sell your soul, sell drugs, do this and that. Do all these things, tell you all these things, but they don't tell you the knowledge of who you really are, where you really come from, man. They don't tell you none of that. But they tell you gotta rap. You gotta play sports. You gotta do this, you gotta do that. Instead of really telling you who you are. But we all know it's according to the will of Yahushua. But at the end of the day, these are things that the ones who are in the know, we see this and we look at it and be like, man, right? People don't understand. People don't know, right? The people don't know who they are. People don't know, man, you rich. You try to tell the brother here, it's like he look at it as a bad thing, right? But when we get in that, you know, when that time comes, he see them elect getting beamed up, he gonna be like, oh, why, you know? What's up, Uncle Ma? No, excuse me, I'm coming home, right? But when that time comes, it's gonna be that, man. We're gonna get back into our place where we're supposed to be at, right? It's like he interrupted me. Precept had came to mind when I was gonna go to First, 2 Timothy 3, might be 2. Yeah, right? 2 Timothy 2, and I start at verse 3, right? It says, therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. You got to endure the hardness, man, right? You got to endure it, right? Because, matter of fact, I'm gonna read this real fast, right? Second Ezra, right? One of my favorite precepts to really prove this point, man, to show you, man, right? Because we're gonna get back into our homeland, but but you got to think about it, right? It's like this, right? If your mama tell you, hey, if you do this, I'm gonna give you this. Well, I ain't gonna feel like that. It's like if your mama just give you something, right? She give you something, now you just being bad because you know you get what you want. Now your mama telling you, hey, you gotta do this in order to get this. Now, is you gonna continue to go out and do bad, right? Not what's like it. That's a bad analogy, right? I'm gonna put it like this: your mama give you this, right? It just says anything, right? Then you going out being bad. Your mom just give you everything, right? You go out doing what you want because you know you can. You know what I'm saying? You just doing what you want because you know you're getting everything, right? You know. So boom, she take it from you and tell you in order for you to get it back. Matter of fact, no, it just hit me in the spirit. Why have a shot? Thought how about y'all shot? When you was younger, you had a phone. Your mama buy you a phone. You get in trouble in school. Your mama take your phone from you. You go back to school. Is you gonna continue to do the things you did before to get in trouble at school, get your phone taken? No, you gonna go correct those things and continue doing better to get your phone back, right? So Second Ezra 7, right? Second Ezra 7, right? I started verse 6, right? And it says, there is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field and is full of good things, right? Why would it say this? Right? The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Yahweh, man, right? It's full of all good things. Right? I quote it, I'm gonna read it again. There is also another thing, right? A city is built and set upon a broad field and it's full of all good things, man. It's full of all good things. All the things you think you need down here is full of all good things, right? He said, the entrance thereof is narrow and it's set in a dangerous place to fall, like is there or fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, right? It says, and only one path between them both, even the fire and the water so small that only one man could go at once. That narrow passage, man. Staying focused, right? Is you gonna go back to school while or not because you back in school now? Shoot, you go back up there while now. You gonna get on the teacher yelling at keep doing the things you was doing, right? It says what, right? He says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, right? So the kingdom is set for an inheritance, right? Because why? Right? And that leads me to, now I'm gonna finish this part of Romans, right? If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass a danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance, right? How shall he receive it? Because I gave it to him before, right? And things on the right and left pulled him away, right? So therefore now, go slacking. The things on the right and left pulled him away when the narrow passage wasn't even narrow, right? It was wide, right? Now I'm gonna jump down, right? It says, I'm gonna jump down to verse. That's how I just keep reading that. He said, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then he said to me, even also Israel portion, because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed, when Adam sinned, right, things that got us destroyed, the things God drew, took away from us, transgression, right, sins, right, my statutes that were decreed that now is done, then what is of the world made narrow, full of sorrow, trivial, and they are few and evil, full of perils and very painful. He said, for the instance of the other world were wide and sure and brought immoral fruit. If they then that live labor not to enter these great and vain things, they can never see as though they're laid up for them. Why? Because the Most High gave us the land of Canaan. Right? What our people do? Went out there and going out. Right? In Jerusalem having all these iniquities, having all these things going on. Right? It says that if you read the book of Lamentations, talk about that. Right? Jerusalem been destroyed for the iniquities that the sons and daughters did. Right? So therefore now you got to focus on the straight game. Now in order for you to get your phone back, you got to straighten yourself up. You got to get right and focus on the right thing. Get your grades right. Make sure you pass all your class. Make sure you went to class on time. Make sure your teachers writing good reports about you. Right? Make sure you're doing right. Right? And that's what that's this mercy that the Most High put on us to make sure we're doing right, to make sure we're doing good, because the glory that's in front of us ain't compared to nothing we face down here. The struggling, the hardship, none of it. It may seem bad, but when you understand where we come from, man, I'd rather face it down here and get back to there than continue to face this shit and be destroyed, man. Because when we get back to the kingdom, man, all this shit gonna be wiped away, right? But if you don't get right, that's what's gonna happen. Hey, the Most High gonna destroy you. The Most High gonna destroy you, man. So in order for you to overcome that and get back into the rulership that we was in, right? What you gotta focus on is vain and straight things, right? Because it said, let's go into that. If a man is set to inherit, right? We set to inherit these things, right? So let's go to Romans, right? 8. Matter of fact, I want to read Thessalonians real fast. Why some of my 2 Thessalonians. Slocky, I'm gonna say. Might be 5. No, it's 2 or 3 and 4. Oh yeah, about Shao Shai. 1 Thessalonians 3 and 4, right? It's a Paul writer, right? He said, uh, I'm starting at verse 3, that no man should be moved by these afflictions, right? For yourselves know that we were appointed thereunto, right? As I'm starting at verse 1 to get the point across, right? He said, wherefore, when we could no longer forbear, we thought it good to be left at Athens alone, and sent Timothy, our brother and minister of Yahweh, and our fellow laborer in the gospel of Mashiach Yahushua, to establish you and to comfort you concerning your faith. Yet no man shall be moved by these afflictions. For yourselves know that we were appointed thereunto. Because we're supposed to face these things. These things the curses are upon us. We're supposed to face these things, right? He said, for verily when we were with you, we told you that we should suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass, ye know, right? Because we're supposed to go through these hardships. We're supposed to face these things, right? All these things don't compare. What can you compare to losing? Can we supposed to face these things? We put ourselves in this position, right? So going to Romans, right? 8, and I'm going to start at verse 17, right? It says, if children, then heirs of Yahweh, right? And joint heirs with him, Mashiach Yahushua, right? He says, if so be that we suffer with him, right? It's what we read in 2 Ezra, that inheritance we're supposed to read, that kingdom, right? We stand focused on that straight and vain thing. We got to suffer. Same thing Yahushua did. He came down here focused on the path. He had the risk. He had these things. When he came to the ministry, he made himself of no reputation, man. He made himself no reputation. He came out here to do the will and do the works of the Father, focus on the kingdom, and all things should be added unto thee. He knew he'd be glorified when he get to the kingdom, man. Right? So he did the things he was set for the Father set for him to do. Same things that we got to do, man. Because ain't nothing we go through, right, as we're going to keep reading, right? For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us, man. Which is what? The kingdom being restored back to Israel. Right? The kingdom being restored back to Israel. Us being back in the rulership. All this pain and sorrow, all these things gone. Jerusalem being built back up. Right? Revelations 21. Right? Verse 1. Revelation chapter 21 and verse 1 going on down. Right? Jerusalem coming down like a bride, man. We're in that marriage with Yahweh Shah. So we got to stay sincere. No fornication. No caught up in the ways of this world. Staying focused on this marriage and doing the things that he set for us to do. Right? I got to quit in the precept. Right? Hebrews 11 and 25, right? Hebrews 11:25, right? And it says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, man. Right? So we choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than choosing rather we choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh, the elect man, the righteous man, to do the righteous things, right? We'll suffer these things, we'll go through these things, and to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. We don't want that, right? Because you're gonna understand these lusts and all these things you're gonna come, right? It ain't lasting long, man. None of this shit here to stay. All this shit ready to be done away with, gone. Right? What's here to stay, what? Is this truth, this word, this knowledge, understanding, and being brought to that kingdom. Right? That's what's here. That's the end goal of this thing. Right? That's why he said they don't consider their latter end, because they focus on the things right now. When you consider your latter end, you focus what? Matter of fact, he said you shall be increased at your last end, because you're gonna be low and you're gonna face things down here right now, but you're gonna be increased at your last end. Meaning what? Right? When we get to that kingdom, right? We get into that kingdom, we get out, we get back into our place, we get back into our rulership, right? Matter of fact, we can end with that, right? He said, Book of Sirach 2, verse 1, my son, thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayst be increased at thy last end. When we get to that kingdom, right? You got Yahushua, King David, the elect men, right? The elect men gonna be saved and brought through, and brought through that fire, man. We gonna have to face this thing that's gonna come. right? This trouble that's going to cause these things that's going to come, the Most High going to be on our side. But the rest of people got to face it, right? Because we consider our latter end, man. We consider the glory that's in front of us. We don't want the things that's down here right now because we want to get back to where we used to be, right? Lamentations 2 and 13. What can we compare? We can't compare none of this shit we're going through down here to where we used to be at, to losing. Come on, man. How you going to compare losing $20 to losing $3 million? You can't compare. That shit don't add up. That shit don't hurt you like that hurt you. Right? You can say that hurt, but that shit don't hurt you like that hurt you, man. We lost our homeland, we lost our kingdom, man. There ain't nothing compared to that. We ready to get back there. We ready to get back on the fold, Yahweh Shah, but nobody can test us, nobody can come up against us. But you people would rather have fun and holly jolly and run around this wicked ass kingdom and do whatever you want, be whatever you want, and disrespect Yahweh Shah. But hey, when that time comes, that correction gonna come, and all Israel gonna be brought back into the kingdom, but a lot of them gotta get destroyed first, right? Matthew 5:19. You have least in the kingdom of heaven, you got great in the kingdom of heaven, right? So, hey, you choose by the fact. We can end it off just right here, right? 2nd Esdras 8, right? And I read verse 1, right? And it says, he answered me saying, the Most High made this world for many, right? But the world to come for few. Most High made this world for many, right? You know, but the world to come for few. Who is that few? The elect, man, right? The elect, right? As you can see, the few's the elect of the house of Israel. Everybody else gonna be in the kingdom, but what role will you play, man? Everybody else gonna be brought, right? But you're gonna get destroyed. You're gonna come back through the elect seed, or you're gonna tighten up and depart. Get it out of this place, because it's gonna be a sore destruction, man. Because you're gonna return back and understand where we come from. We want to get back into position, man, right? But Lord willing, you know, the lesson was edifying, right? And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole flesh, started with the 144,000. Shalom.